So for our webinar today for the Festival of Media Global Awards, we'll talk you through the entering process, give you some top tips straight from the jury rooms, and introduce you to our new categories. We will then show you some of the example of winning campaigns for a number of categories, and if you have any questions throughout the webinar, we are happy to answer them at the end. And just, yeah, here we go, new slide. So we are the only global awards dedicating to the evolution of media, and so we're going to be rewarding the best media campaigns from around the globe, and our awards are established as the leading recognition for brands, agencies, media brands, and digital marketing specialists. So our awards provide the benchmark for innovation in media across global, MENA, APAC, and Latin editions. So this year's award winners will be announced on the 8th of May in Rome during our Festival of Media Global Conference. Awards are always a moment to celebrate your and your team's hard work, so we expect a big celebration when we hand out the trophies to the winners at our awards gala dinner this year, or next year. Here are a couple of impressions about our festival. From when Malaysia, as I said, we worked really hard on this campaign, sacrificing the entire month of December to create hundreds of videos, but to see it help the client gain results, it's what makes it worth it. So they actually won the Campaign of the Year Grand Prix in FOMA 2016. Also, a shout out from our jury chair for the Global Next Year Festival, Sarah Mansfield from Unilever. Festival of Media is one of the most prestigious media awards, and it is a privilege to be chairing one of the panels this year. I look forward to viewing some of the best work the industry has produced. So besides our global edition, as I'm sure you know, we also run our regional awards in APAC, LATAM and MENA, and you can find all the information about it on our new website, www.festivalofmedia.com. To give you an idea what our judges panels look like, here are a few shows and representatives from next year's jury panels throughout the festival. Our panels are always made up from 1/3 of brands with a mixture of agencies and media owners. You will find the most senior marketers of the biggest spanning brands in the world, agency leaders and platform specialists in our jury panels. And so entering awards is basically a great opportunity to showcase your work to them. So as an example, this year's Global Festival, jury chair are Sarah Mansfield from Unilever and Jerry D'Angelo, who will be moving to P&G in January.
Now regarding the entry process, it is very simple and straightforward. The first stage is the written entry that you will have to submit via our entry site, along with 2 supporting images. These will be judged online with our online juries. And then there is a second stage after the shortlist is announced. So only shortlisted campaign will be requested to submit a 2-minute video that will be judged just before the winner's announcement on the judging day by our senior panel. And there will actually be another webinar for you to learn more how to produce a successful video later on. So just make sure that you know these 2 entry deadlines. We have an early entry deadline on Friday, the 16th of December. So this is for you to get a discount on your entries. And then we have a final deadline on Friday, the 3rd of February. So it gives you another couple of months for you to submit all your entries. Here are the essentials of your written entry. So as you must already know, you will need the approval from your clients, so just make sure that you have these before you even submit your entry. Regarding the eligibility of the campaigns, we accept all campaigns that have run within 2016. You may enter a campaign that started in 2015 or ended in 2017. Just make sure that the main bulk of your campaign has run within these eligibility dates. You will be requested to submit 2 images with your written entry. These aren't scored, but they are to illustrate your campaign, just for the judges to get a bit of a visual. We don't require you to submit any mood board, and if you have some text on the images, which is allowed, just make sure that all the essential information are in your written entry. We have a word limit for each section, so the written entry is composed of 5 sections. There is the objective section, then insight, strategy, execution and results. The word limit is actually a good indication for you to see and know how much you should actually develop your entry, and usually your entry would be around 800 words. We will request you as well to submit your entry in company and country correctly, so just make sure that you check this while entering, just because when we announce the shortlist, we will be crediting the entering companies and countries, so we just want to make sure that we are crediting the correct companies, of course. And please make sure that you enter on time. Here are a few common mistakes that I wanted to share with you, just to make sure you avoid them. So the first one would be to pick the wrong category or not necessarily tailor the content to the criteria. So I would really advise you to read through the category criteria and pay a particular attention to them before writing the content of your entries. We won't be moving your entries across categories, nor the judges. So you need to make sure you enter the right category beforehand. And if you ever need any help picking your categories, we would be more than happy to help. So you just need to send across your write-ups and request for advice. We also have a live chat online, so if you want to go on our website and quickly ask a question about any category, I would be happy to answer. Or we can also set up a phone call, just get in touch with us. Another common mistake would be to assume that judges know your brand or product, marketplace, or any cultural context that would be very important for them to know to understand your entry and your campaign. So just make sure that you include even just a short sentence about what the brand or the product is about, and if there is any background that the judges need to be aware of, just make sure you include this, just because the jury panel is composed of judges from all across the region. So this is very important for them to understand the marketplace. Another mistake would be to confuse objectives with insights. The objective section isn't scored by the judges either, and it's just meant to be a couple of sentences to give a bit of a background, just for the judges to understand what the entry is about, while the insight section should be oh, please make sure that you mute yourself when you log on the webinar. Sorry. Yes, as I was saying, sorry, I lost my... yeah, so giving the results not in context and not linking them with the objective is another common mistake. So, for example, we would recommend you include some figure on to compare the results with last year's or from previous campaigns, or what would be the average in the market, just for the judges to understand how outstanding the results are and have other figures to compare your results with. A mistake that is common to mostly ad tech companies and media owners would be pitching a product instead of showcasing the campaign strategy. So, for example, we've received some entries where some ad tech companies were promoting their platform or promoting their products, but the judges are reading through entries to understand the campaign strategy, so how these tools have been used in order to produce very successful campaigns, not how the products work itself. And finally, another mistake would be to be late.
Okay, and then basically from that, we also want to give you some tips taken from the jury room, and because we always get feedback from the judges, we're obviously with them in the jury room, so that's we probably give you some of the valuable tips from inside a jury room. So number one would be read criteria and enter the right category. Fanny touched on that, but it's just really important. Always put yourself in the shoes of a judge and think you have to kind of judge the campaigns based on the category they're in. So imagine if you're best use of mobile, what is really the outstanding mobile factor, and really always think how would they know that your campaign is the best out of all of them in the category. Also adjust it, like the text, it would be good if you not have just the same write-up every time, but adjust it based on which category you're entering. Clearly outline the challenge and objectives. Again, it's just the objectives are not being scored, but it's still good to know what was your aim, what were your targets for the client, did you have any KPIs as well, and just really make sure that everyone understands it, and even if they're not familiar with the market or the industry. So one really good thing to do is always get someone involved to either while you write the entry or while you check the entry in the end, get someone from outside of the team, someone who had nothing to do with the project, and just let them read through your entry and make sure they really understand clearly what was the challenge, what did you achieve, what is so outstanding about your campaign, because that will make sure someone else, some of the juries would understand, obviously, the same thing. Grab attention at the start, be clear and concise. Entertain the judges, say. Grab their attention and maybe even, they might even learn something from your entry. You always have to keep in mind that you read a lot of entries and probably also like in the same time. So it's really important to not just grab the attention, but also to keep it. So if your idea is good, but the story is not told well, it frequently gets overlooked. So really make it entertaining, make it easy to read, but also just make clear what you did, and that comes across clearly. So remember the art of storytelling. Results are important, and they're even better in context. So it was always good to. It's obviously the more numbers you can provide, the better. Obviously, quite often it might be an issue of the client not releasing some numbers, but even if you can put it in context, for example, what's the industry average, what's the market average, how does it compare to a previous period, how does it compare to the previous year, so everything the judges can take to understand how great your campaign was, how successful was it, and also do always link it back to your original objectives, because that's basically they're going to look at what did you want to achieve for that client. It might be great if you get like 1,000, 100,000 likes, but if that wasn't the aim of the campaign in the first place, then it's hard to value that for your campaign. So always link it back to objectives, what is it you want to achieve, and show that you hopefully overachieve for the client. And last one, you get inspiration from other winning campaigns. So we do show you, going to show you 3 examples, but also we do use Cream, and just show how they structure their campaigns, how their write-up was, how the case study looks. Just to get inspirations in terms of how to structure and how to like entertainingly tell a story about your campaign. And also very important, state from the start why your campaign is worth winning. So just really make sure that it comes across, sell yourself a bit in that regards. Just make sure the judges really can see why in this category your campaign is outstanding and deserves to be a winner.
I will briefly introduce you to the essentials for the videos, although we will have a dedicated webinar later on. So your videos must work as a standalone piece. Don't assume that the judges will have read your entries before. They will have iPads with the written entries, but they won't necessarily be reading through them before watching your video. Your videos must be a summary of the campaign, must last 2 minutes, be in English or have English subtitles. And just as the written entries, they must be anonymous, so make sure you don't include any company names or contributing companies. And finally, we recommend you to tailor the content of your videos to the categories they have been shortlisted in, although this is not mandatory, this is just a recommendation we make. I'm going to show you a few videos, just 3 videos that have been particularly successful at last year's edition, and we're going to explain why they've been this successful. So the first one is, are you removing the stains of social inequality? The entering company is Mediacom India, the brand was Aerial, and it won various awards at FOMG 2016.
मेरी छोटी सी गुड़िया, I'm so proud and I'm so sorry. Sorry कि जब तुम घर घर खेलती थी तो मैंने तुम्हें रोका नहीं. ये नहीं कहा कि ये सिर्फ तुम्हारा काम नहीं, पर कहता भी कैसे. मैंने भी तो कभी तुम्हारी मम्मी की हेल्प नहीं की. और तुमने जो देखा, जिसने कई सालों से एक गलत एग्जाम्पल सेट किया, पर अभी भी देर नहीं हुई. किचन का किंगडम बनाऊं तो कम से कम लॉन्ड्री में तो हाथ बटाऊं. अब कुछ सही कर जाऊं. तुम्हारा पापा. Is laundry only a woman's job?
You might be president of PepsiCo, you might be on the board of directors, but when you enter this house, you're the wife, you're the daughter, you're the daughter-in-law, you're the mother.
Women may have broken the glass ceiling in many professions, but at home, they still do all the domestic chores. Instead of talking to women about aerial matic, we set out to provide the most impressive product benefit of all, getting men to share the load. We ignited a gender equality debate.
It's just taken for granted that cleaning is meant to be done by the woman.
Celebrities have joined the cause, committing to helping their wives and partners at home.
We didn't stop there. We launched a custom his and hers product, endorsed by washing machine manufacturers, and challenged men to post selfies, sharing the load. We created a new media channel by partnering with designer brands to create clothes tags that read, "This fabric can be washed by both men and women," and even got India's second biggest matrimonial portal to make sharing the load part of its key dating criteria. Share the load had the highest consumer engagement response rate for Ariel ever. 2 million men have pledged to do the laundry. 25,000 his and hers laundry tags were sewn, and sales grew by 75% year on year, double our target. We didn't just influence the way India washes its clothes. We started to change its social fabric. Thank you, Ariel, for truly sharing the load.
So this campaign was particularly successful, as I said, and won several awards. The judges mentioned its strong insights, and this is what actually made the difference. Also, you may have noticed its storytelling, which was very captivating. And the last thing that the judges particularly appreciated was the new media. They used the clothing labels. That was actually a new way to communicate. So this was particularly outstanding. A second campaign for Suncorp Bank, Home Loans That Deliver. The entering company was Starcom Australia, and they won silver for the Smart Use of Data Awards at FOMG 2016. Yeah, so here is the campaign.
You're on the busy train commute home. You know you have to book a time at the bank to organise a home loan, but who has time for that? We made sure you had time with tech that went well beyond location-based tracking, tech that changed the concept of bank hours to bring the bank to the customer. Suncorp Bank is from another state in Australia, so trying to compete with the big four banks in Sydney with only 1/4 of the budget, similar rates and a limited presence with a small amount of branches is a big challenge. But they do have 5 mobile bank lenders that weren't hiding behind a closed branch. These lenders were on the road and on call. We just didn't know where they were until now. To show off our lenders, we knew it would be most powerful where it was least expected. So we found our customers when they were on the commute home, outside traditional banking hours. We partnered with AdShell to target commuters with every digital outdoor panel across the entire Sydney rail network and prompted an immediate response. Throughout the day, it tracked the lender's movements with a heat map, and if customers could see a mobile lender near their home, they could make a booking and that lender would arrive for an appointment that very night. The tech was crucial in overcoming traditional network lag barriers, and we created an app called Home Lines on Call that tracked mobile lenders via their mobile phone GPS. Importantly, the information went to a server that was on a custom-built digital network that allowed our data to go direct to outdoor display panels instead of going back and forth across other networks. The result was instant updates to identify the location of a lender. Over the 3-month campaign, home loan lodgements increased a massive 234% year-on-year in New South Wales and achieved mobile lender lead generation of plus 171% year-on-year, and giving our humble team of 5 scale in a true media first, fusing real-world staff locations, individual data on an exclusive network and out-of-home impact live.
So this campaign was a great example on how to make a technical topic fairly easy to understand. You have to bear in mind that not all the judges will be specialized in the data use or advertising technology, so you really need to make sure that you make it as easy as possible for them to understand, whether it's in your written entry or video. And this campaign also showed a clever use of geolocation that led to great results, so this is also why it has been awarded. And finally, we have Sunday Grannies entered by Romania for Vodafone.
În România sunt peste 4 milioane de români care au trecut de 75 de ani. Cea mai singură acasă.
With over 40% of elderly people in Romania living alone, Vodafone wanted to prove that mobile internet can empower anybody to change his life for the better. So we created an experiment meant to show how using technology can fight loneliness, presenting Sunday Grannies.
V-am rămas văduvă și atunci ne-am mutat împreună. În 2012 a plecat și bărbatul meu. Și de atunci suntem singuri. Asta este viața. Trebuie să mergem mai departe. O să fie bine.
Though they're alone, they never stopped cooking for a whole family. So we connected the 2 lonely grannies with students that miss home-cooked meals. We showed grannies the basics of social networks, and we asked them to post their menu and invite students to their Sunday lunch. We made a documentary and put it on TV.
Acum hai pe Facebook și nu te la masă că se răcește.
Soon, the grannies' lives started to change. Their Facebook page became the second campaign page in the country. Their story became part of the daily news.
Apă lumea cu micuțele de duminică. Păi, să vină domnule la masă, un număr cât mai mare.
The empty apartment became the hottest eating place in the capital and visited by celebrities. Simona Halep, number 2 WTA, paid them a visit and even promoted their initiative on her official Facebook page.
Hai bine la buni să mâncăm împreună.
And MasterChef judge Adrian Habian got a test from the grannies. They got so popular they even started producing their own cooking show.
Bine ați venit în bucătăria noastră.
And their famous lemon pie reached the supermarkets. Soon they became an inspiration for the millions of Romanians living alone. So we opened up the platform, creating a Facebook app where any granny can organize her own pop-up lunch. People from all across the country joined in.
Să facem mâncare pe internet pentru Facebook.
And their empty houses became happy again. The campaign reached the international press. It gathered over 400 million media impressions, all while 4G smartphone sales got a 78.8% boost.
So this is another great campaign which won 4 golds, including the Best Use of Content and Best Insight Awards, and it also won the Campaign of the Year Grand Prix at FOMG 2016. So as you have noticed, I'm sure, this campaign has a very powerful insight, and this is just a perfect example of a brand doing good while getting a sales uplift, and these results simply stunned the judges. We actually have an online platform that gathers all our case studies, which is creamglobal.com, and we recommend you to go through all winning campaigns and get inspired from previous winning campaigns.
So now we're going to have a look at the upcoming festival and our categories we've got. They're divided in 4 sections: media, content, technology, and insights. And we're going to introduce the new categories we have for this year to you. So in the media section, it's all about consumer targeting, planning, buying, creative ideas and results, which are the heart of these categories, with shining examples of innovation or best practice in media. So we have quite a few new ones in that section. Let me quickly run you through it. So we have best use of real-time marketing. The winner of this category will show the brand most successfully engaging with their consumers based on real-time information. So you think platforms like Twitter, Snapchat, Periscope, WeChat or Facebook Live now, all campaigns with these technologies in the home. Also best use of gamification. This category is open to any marketing initiatives where gamification has been of key importance in adding value to the client's brand. So the campaign could use a newly created game, an existing game, or incorporate game elements such as points or reward systems, and that could be digitally or offline in the real world as well. Best use of an influencer. So for this category, brands will be rewarded with who best leveraged an influencer or key opinion leader as part of the campaign. So an influencer might be, a YouTube blogger, YouTube star, or a celebrity, sports star, leading industry figure, anyone, who people get influenced by. New use of media to support e-commerce. So winners in this category will show how media has supported commerce and accelerated buying via e-commerce. So successful campaigns may have used new ad formats such as shoppable ads or other new approaches to media, where pre-purchase media experience have been made more effective through integration with commerce. Best use of traditional media, I think that's pretty self-explanatory, but it's open to agencies, advertisers, or media brands who have effectively used traditional media such as television, print, radio, out of home to reach consumers. It might also have some digital aspects, but traditional media should have been the key of the campaign. Best Media Partnership Awards, so that category is to showcase the value that media companies can deliver for a brand, and the campaigns may highlight a partnership between a brand and a single media channel or multiple channels, or demonstrate a partnership between multiple channels to better reach a consumer for the brand's benefit. New sponsorship activation, that's pretty straightforward, so it obviously rewards innovation and creativeness of the sponsorship activation, and we do kind of want to see all about consumer engagement, so not just about putting a name of a brand somewhere on a banner, but just really engaging the consumer as well. And new independent agency campaign for the first time this year, so this category is open to all the independent agencies only, and it's an opportunity for their best work to shine. These are the other categories you already know from the last years. So these categories are probably our most competitive categories, and just as a little insider tips, like new categories tend to be less competitive, so it's always worth looking at what we introduce in this year.
Within our content section, we have categories that are dedicated to campaigns which involve content creation and its distribution. So regarding the content creation, we have two new categories. One that is the best user-generated content. So this is for campaigns that requested customer to create or generate content, or when the brands have published content in collaboration with consumers. So for example, it can be when a brand requests the users to post pictures of them with the product with a special hashtag, but this is just an example. And then we also have the Best Branded Content Creation Award, so this can be across media channels, and the judges will be looking at engagement metrics particularly. And for the distribution of the content, we have the best use of content. So this is how the content was distributed, displayed, or amplified.
Okay, then we have our technology section. This section demonstrates the best technology or innovative use of technology. It could be a single technology platform to multiple screens and devices, just everything in order to connect with the consumer and even engage them. So we have two new categories in the section. That's the best use of new technology. This category recognizes the campaigns that be seen to exploiting technology to its full potential for the benefit of the brand. Winning campaigns will be able to demonstrate a good brand technology fit and show how the use of new technologies such as virtual reality, AI, or Internet of Things, wearable tech, etc., has been used to best reach an audience. And also the best use of geolocation, which is obviously coming up more and more these days. And this category awards the most successful campaign that has geolocation at the center of its success, whether it's used by phone, tablet, or wearable devices. And the other three: best use of mobile, best social media strategy, and best use of programmatic technology, obviously, you all should be familiar with.
Finally, we have the Insight section with, again, 2 new categories this year. So the first one is the best local execution of a brand. This one is specifically for campaigns targeting local audiences with an adapted execution. And the other one would be the Creative Use of Data Award, which is when the data has been fueling the creativity, which led to great results. And then we have 4 traditional categories. So the first one, the Best Insight Award, which is self-explanatory. The Best Targeted Campaign, so this is when you've been reaching out to specific or niche audiences. The Best Not-for-Profit Campaign, which is different from the Utility and Public Service Award since it's exclusive to charity, while the an association, NGOs, while the Utility Public Service Award is for brands that were looking to doing good. And for this last category, the results must be both for the brand and the society or association or the brand has been partnering with.
So in general, the Utility Public Service Award is basically brands doing good, so any corporate social responsibility campaigns or purpose-led marketing activations, that would all go within this category. So we also have some animation here. We also obviously have the Grand Prix. These are not prizes that you can enter, but they will be calculated based on the winners of the festival. You have the Campaign of the Year, the Agency of the Year, the Agency Network of the Year, and new this year will be the Independent Agency of the as well. So for the Grand Prix, we ensure that the spread of client work is taken into account. So like a brilliant single campaign that wins lots of individual categories won't have much more impact than an agency with the same number of wins but with different campaigns from different brands. So, and yes, we're going to calculate them based on the winners, so there's nothing you can enter directly for it. So here are some the most important dates to add to your calendars. The early entry deadline is coming up. Just to remind you, you pay a reduced fee for all the entries submitted before or on the 16th of December. The shortlist announcement will be on the 29th of March, and the video submission deadline like roughly a month later, so that will give you a month to prepare your video. And as mentioned before, for everyone who got shortlisted, we will offer another webinar and just tips and tricks for how to create your video. The winner announcement on the 8th of May will be taken on stage, obviously in Rome, or if you can't be with us, you can also follow it online on our website or live on Twitter. And that brings us to the end of our webinar. And before we open for questions, these are also our entry details. We are really here to help, so you can reach us via email or phone. We also have the live chat on our website where you can chat with Fanny. And we're really happy to set up individual calls as well to go through your campaigns. And then we can also recommend which categories would be best for them. And we're also a very multicultural team. So if you prefer having a call in a native language, we can offer this in Spanish, German, French, and Portuguese as well. And also the link to this webinar has been recorded, so we will send a link around in case you want to rewatch anything or you wanted to share it with a colleague. So